Hi, this is going to be my second number of the podcast, the Hero J World podcast. It's basically going to talk about the One Piece chapters, the two recent One Piece chapters, and the two recent One Piece anime episodes. So I hope you enjoy. Um, I'm still working on my background. It's not the best. I wanted to put it on a TV, but it wasn't really working. So I decided to use my bookshelf. So I hope that might help. It might make it more interesting. It might draw you in a little bit. But yeah, let's just get to it. So One Piece chapter 1109 is basically it starts. We're starting with the whole new cover page. I mean, a cover. It's a cover story, and it's going to take involved with Wano, which is cool because we were just there. It's for the first one is Onigashima falling into the sea. It looks like it's falling towards Wano. I mean, from the underwater Wano that we saw in like the last couple chapters of the Wano arc, where we saw that there was an underwater Wano that was from like 800 years ago. So it looks like it's sinking into that. So I wonder if they're ever going to open it to make it, because it looks like the underwater Wano is more bigger than the actual Wano. So I think it would really benefit them if they were to open the borders and just let get all of Wano back, the original Wano from like the 800 years ago. But anyways, this chapter is titled Interception, and it was officially released March 3rd, 2024, and it's titled Interception, which is basically because of I believe it's because of the Goros are coming to stop Vegapunk. So Vegapunk is about to make an announcement. We don't get to see that announcement in this chapter, which is fine because I'm going to talk about later on that there's story rising makes sense. Okay, we see Vivi and Rebecca, two of my pretty much favorite princesses. Then maybe Hiyori and Shirahoshi, but yeah, Vivi and Rebecca are a pretty solid bet for me. We pretty much get confirmation that Vivi wants to rejoin the crew because she said that she asked Big News Morgan, hey, did they say where they're going? So which kind of confirms she's looking for the Straw Hats, which makes sense story wise and fan wise, because the fans we want Vivi to come back, and story wise she doesn't really have anywhere else to go. She's wanted by the government. She's wanted by Eames. She's wanted by pretty much the Marines. I mean, she's like on their. She's probably on their number one list, other than Luffy and Blackbeard and Shirahoshi. She's on top of Eames' list, which is a bad thing. So she needs to go with the Straw Hats because she has nowhere else to go. She needs her friends back. We see Rebecca, and Rebecca is holding a sword like readily, and she has a band-aid on. So I'm wondering what exactly is she doing? Is she training? I'm guessing she's training with her father. We see her father. We see Leo there. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just can't figure out why she's holding a sword. My best guess is that she's trading or something. I couldn't recognize anybody from the West Blue, the South Blue. Who am I missing? The North Blue. I couldn't recognize anything. I even asked my manager, who's a One Piece fan. I asked him to look at this panel on my iPad. He said, "No, I can't recognize anybody either." He's caught up to the chapter, to the anime, the manga. He's just great. We can talk about it all the time. So yeah, I don't really recognize anybody from there. I recognize people from the East Blue. I recognize the mayor from Luffy's hometown. I recognize Iceberg and his assistant, but that's about it. I don't really recognize any of these people from the South Blue, North Blue, West Blue. My favorite panel will probably be when the one when we show it's about 10 and 11. It's when Luffy is splattering Kizaru and Saturn. Love to see it. I love seeing Kizaru and Saturn get knocked out. Wait, Kizaru. Yeah, I said it right. Kizaru and Saturn getting knocked out. They deserve it. They're well, okay. Kizaru, he is sort of iffy. We don't really know which side he's really on, but Saturn, horrible human being, horrible monster, horrible demon. He's just all the Goros say are just horrendous human beings or demons, whatever they are. They're just horrendous. Okay. So Luffy splattering them, throwing them. Love to see it. I really like the panel. Well, there's two panels I like. It's the one on page 8 where Luffy is smiling, he's in gear fit, and the one where you see Sanji in the last panel, with all the you can see most of his hair minus the speech bubbles, but with the scratches, the blood. I mean, it looks like something good to draw with those close face up. I draw sometimes, so like I look at panels to see what I would like to draw and make a background and stuff. So those are really cool. So like I love to see the power. So I'm pretty sure the power scalers are going to have a field day with this, seeing how Luffy is casually tossing them. Saturn unfortunately does get up. He doesn't really get really affected. He's about to fight Luffy again. So yeah, we're still dealing with him. And the final page of chapter 1109 is that the Gorosei is coming. So I gotta admit, the summoning of the Gorosei is very detailed. However, within good conscience, I can't really put it on my good panel list, because all the demonic implications and all the monsters, and just all the implications of the monstrous things that are happening here. Still looks cool though. This cliffhanger does get 5 stars. I mean, it got the community talking. I haven't really seen any reviews of it because I try to avoid that so I can make my own opinions. I won't have my opinions influenced by other YouTubers. So I kind of avoid it, but I can only imagine how much this chapter got everybody talking. I mean the Gorosei are coming. The smokes are coming up. That they got the little rings. They're summoning them. I mean, people were just. I imagine people were going insane with this chapter. I was a little bit scared about the whole 10-minute rule thing with Vegapunk, because it reminds me of the Frieza 5-minute. When it comes to anime and time, they have a way of stretching out time more than for audience. It looks like it takes months, but really in the anime world, it might be like just like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a whole day. For example, all of Dressrosa took place in one day, even though people were like reading it weekly for like maybe a couple years, maybe more than that. And even in the anime, they were watching it for about a year or two. Onigashima, that whole thing lasts for about probably a year or two. I can't remember the exact, but all of Onigashima inside of the manga, all in story wise, that took place within a night. So that's just to give you an example of how time, it's like the authors have a way to stretch it. Authors of anime and manga have a way of stretching out time then. So yeah, I'm a little worried about how long this 10-minute timer could last. Now I'm not really too mad because the 10-minute thing makes sense, because the whole point of the Gorosei coming is to stop Vegapunk. There would be no point of Gorosei coming if Vegapunk just went ahead and talked his whole like big speech to the world. They're coming here to stop him. They see a window of opportunity, so they're coming to stop him. So it's a way for the story to kind of move forward. It's a way for the Gorosei to come and wreak havoc and make the story, make this climax a little bit more exciting. So I understand why it needs to happen story wise. I'm a little annoyed we haven't seen Vegapunk's speech yet, but it is what it is. This chapter gets about 4.5 stars with just all the action, all the implications. And the cliffhanger gets 5 stars. It's a really good cliffhanger. You couldn't wait to see what's happening next chapter. You got people talking about what's going to happen next. Are the Gorosei coming? What's about to happen? I mean, it's rare to get any better than this, other than something like Shanks coming, Shanks popping up, or Blackbeard popping up. One of the endgamers, or like Dragon showing up. That's probably the only thing that could be bigger than this. Now, the next chapter, chapter 1110, is straight heat. I mean, I give it 5 stars. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. The volume cover, the cover request is Yamato is about to go on her trip to Wano. I call her her. I know it's very weird with the pronouns with Yamato, but I'm just gonna say her. Nothing really against any community members. It's just I'm very confused when it comes to her with the pronouns, so I'm just gonna say her. So She's about to go on a little trip around Wano. Momo seems supportive, but he seems kind of annoyed by that. I think he wants Yamato to stay around. So that's kind of cute. You see, like Momo kind of whistling. He's okay with it, but he's not really happy about it at the same time. This chapter is called Starfall. I'm assuming that's a reference to all of the little signs that the Gorosei coming, the little circle things, and it could be it's just announced a reference to like the sky is falling. I might have heard that from somewhere as I was looking for the chapter spoilers. But I can't remember. But it might be a reference from like the sky is falling. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much happening. It's like the world is ending. So this story, this chapter is straight up heat. We see a panel of the Gorosei, where they used to be. We see the little circle, the circle that they summons, but we don't really see any dialogue. We see the Vegapunk dialogue, but we don't really see anything. We don't really hear anything from them. It just kind of shows that the room's empty. I feel like that's a nice touch. I feel like that'd be a nice touch in the anime where you just hear the Vegapunk's voice and you see the Gorosei are coming, and you're like, oh gosh, they're actually coming, and we actually get to see them. At first, they show the silhouettes. I believe they're like the same ones that we saw who were facing with Sabo. But we actually get to see like their full transformations. We get to see. I can't see the Gorosei's names very well in the background. They're basically showing like the monster's name: Gyokko, Itsume, Finks, Bakatsu, Sandworm. I'm probably not saying those words right, except for Sandworm, because there's not really much else that word could be. It's sand and worm. It's very self-explanatory, but the other ones, I'm probably not saying them right. I probably have to wait till the anime comes out for it to fully know how they pronounce. But out of all of these transformations, I feel like the one the anime community dubs as Sanji's dad or Sanji's uncle, I feel like he got the short end of the straw, given that he's a giant worm. I feel I don't like the Gorosei. The Gorosei are scumbags, but I just feel kind of funny. Like the one that looks, the one that's kind of the most handsome one. I mean, he has all of his hair. He looks the youngest. But he has like the probably the worst transformation, being a giant worm. Also, I find it funny that the Gorosei who looks kind of fat is a pig, which is kind of funny because people sometimes people reference like fatness with pig, like he have like people insulting people, like saying they're like a fat pig or something. I find that kind of funny. That his transformation is a pig. Now the Ganhi, the two Gorosei that I don't like the Gorosei. Like I said, they're horrible, horrendous people. But the Ganhi Gorosei and Saint Mars, they were putting in the work during this chapter. I mean, Saint Mars, they went on their hybrid form. They're slashing up the pacifistas. They're I mean, and the other one with the giant bird, he's going to Egghead, the giant brain thing in Egghead, the punk records, and just about to penetrate it. I mean, they're putting in the work. I gotta admit. Villain wise, they're doing what a villain should do. They're what final villain should do. They're wrecking havoc. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, I gotta give it to them a little bit. They're putting in the work on this chapter. And even the Sandworm is going straight for Luffy. I guess it's helping out Gyokko, Sage Saturn. I guess they're going to team up and try to get stop Luffy. So yeah, they're putting in the work. I gotta admit that. Now, I forgot to mention, there's a huge double page spread of the 5 elders and all their appearance and their demonic forms. I mean, they look very scary. I'm glad we finally get to see what they look like. Because I remember we found the silhouettes of them back when Sabo was facing them in Cobra. So we all were wondering what they were going to look like, what their animal references is. Now, I'm not knowledgeable of the Japanese mythology. I could research it, but I kind of don't want to because I don't want to look up things, demonic things like these oni, these monsters in the Japanese lore, because I feel like it will bring me to a dark turn in the internet, and I really just don't want to research that. I might later look at what Library of Ohara has to say. I might look at what other YouTubers say. If I ever look at another YouTuber or another webpage, I will do my best to give reference to them because it's their research, it's their work. So I will do my best to give them credit if I find something that they found. Like they figure out what each monster represents, what they represent in the Japanese mythology. Like for example, one of my favorite YouTubers is Tekken 101. So if I watch a Tekken 101 video, and he looks up what each monster represents in the Japanese mythology, I'm going, and in my next video I talk about it, I'm going to reference him just so I can give him credit. I don't want to take credit for anybody's hard work research work. I think that's a very immoral thing to do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just look at some other YouTubers, look at Library Ohara, and see what they have to say about the Gorosei thing. Just because I'm a little afraid to look it up on the internet. I don't want to look up monsters. But this cover spread looks very good. It could be poster level for somebody else. For me, it's not poster level. It's not something I want to put it up on my wall. It's not like the full color spread of the ladies with Tashigi and Nami drinking wine and a dog. It's not like that. Where I would love to put that on my wall. This one, not really. Although it looks cool, it's very detailed. Wow, they did a really good job with this one. You see them all. Not fully. There's some parts of them cut off, but you get the gist of what they are. I imagine it's very terrifying for Luffy to face them. I don't know if Luffy. I like Luffy. I think his Gear 5 is very powerful, but I don't think that Luffy can take on all 5 of these at once. I really don't. I think Luffy is very strong. He beat Kaido. But I think he is Yonko level. But I don't even think Luffy can face all 5 of these guys together. I just don't. So yeah, Luffy's about to face them. The Gorosei is putting in work. Now, the Ganhi Gorosei, we see him in his hybrid form. It was like a skeleton horse, maybe, but it slowly transforms to like his human. It's like half human. His hybrid form. His humanoid form. I might have called. Okay, first we see his full-on beast transformation. It might be his awakening, but I don't know. It looks like it's awakening, but we see him now in his hybrid form. He's part human in the torso and up, and he's the other half is skeleton. That's how he's putting in the work. He's going after the pacifistas, the Kumas, slashing them up. He's really putting in the work. And the bird one is like I said, is going to infiltrate Punk Records. They're putting in the work in this chapter. I gotta admit. Okay, now one of the Marines is shouting out, "Kill Bonnie! These guys are on our side." This is why I don't like the Marines. They are basically serving demons. They have no problem going up against an innocent girl, Bonnie, just to save their own buzz. I don't like the Marines. They're horrendous. They're basically the government. I don't even want to say the word. They're just basically puppets of the government, and the government's bad. They need to go. The Marines need to get up. I don't feel sorry for them at all. If the Straw Hats escapes and Punk Records and Egghead Island gets blown up with all the Marines with it, I would be mad. I don't feel sorry for Marines at all. They see all this they sense all this demonic presence and they still serve it. I don't feel sorry for them at all. They could all go suck it for all I care. I said that in the last video, I really do not have much sympathy for the government and the Marines. The only ones I care about are maybe Tashigi, Smoker, Garp, and Kobe and Kobe's group from going to save him. Those are probably the only ones I care about. Now, before I forget, my favorite panel is Zoro slashing Lucy. It's kind of funny. We see Lucy trash talking Zoro, and Zoro still beats him. Now, to us, we don't see much of this fight, so it looks like he kind of just beat him in like one shot. I know they were kind of clashing in the other chapters, but for us, the audience, it looks like he just kind of one shots him, which is kind of funny, given all the trash talking he was doing. Now, I haven't really read much. During the spoilers, I read a little bit of Reddit, but I honestly can't remember. I don't know what this is going to do with the Zoro fans and the Sanji fans. I'm sure they went nuts with this chapter, as they should. You know, Zoro gets a W. He beats Lucy fair and square, 1-on-1. We get to put Zoro over Lucci in the power scaling charts. So yeah, I'm sure they're very happy with this chapter. We were all kind of worried about what if Zoro loses to Lucci. Why is he taking so long? But they get all relaxed because Zoro beats him fair and square. And that's the end of Lucci. He's lost to Luffy twice, and he's lost to Zoro. So it's not looking good for Lucci at all. Which it should. It should not look good for Lucci at all. He's a scumbag. He works for the government. I understand he was kind of groomed to doing it, but I still don't like him. He assassins people. He assassins innocent people sometimes just for the government. Get him up out of here. Just go away. You're not needed anymore in the story. Or in the One Piece world at all. Just go. Now, the Giants, Dory and Broggy, they save Luffy, and it looks like they slice up the worm's head. And that's what it looks like to me. It looks like they slice its head. Now they can easily regenerate, but it's still pretty cool how they just come in and they just slice it. It looks like Luffy was about to get eaten by that worm, and Dory and Broggy come in to save him. That's pretty much the cliffhanger. Dory and Broggy reunite with Luffy. Now this cliffhanger, I give it about 3 stars. You know, it's Dory and Broggy reunited with Luffy, but it doesn't really hook you into the next chapter. Now the chapter overall is 5 stars. It's straight up gas. The Gorosei showing up. We get to see their forms. We get to see them actually putting in the work. Even though I don't really like the Gorosei, I think it's pretty cool how well, not really cool. I think it's pretty interesting to see them like actually doing their business. I'm still a little annoyed that we still haven't seen Vegapunk's speech, but that's okay because they're here to stop him. Like I said in the last show, they're here to stop Vegapunk. It wouldn't really make sense for them to even be here if Vegapunk already splat out his speech. It wouldn't make sense for them to come here because they're coming here to stop him. So that's why we haven't heard the speech yet. But I understand if some YouTubers are upset by it. I saw the Roger Space drama. I didn't watch his review. I just watched the drama that happened afterwards. Apparently, he said something about the 10-minute rule to his viewers. So I watched that. That was kind of, I would understand why people were upset by it. It was a little aggressive, but it was still a little bit funny. I gotta admit, I like Roger Spade. I like his channel. I like watching his reviews. I haven't watched most of it because I don't want his opinions to influence mine. So I've been kind of holding off. So I'm looking forward to binge watching Roger's Base, Tekken, King of Light, a little bit of King of Lightning, Randy Chor. I'm looking forward to binge watching all their past chapter reviews because I haven't seen them. They're the ones who inspired me to do One Piece reviews and this whole podcast. So the cliffhanger gets about 3 stars. The overall chapter gets 5 stars. It was just straight up heat, the whole thing. I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Usopp is surprisingly calm in this chapter. He apparently saved Brook and Lilith from landing the Sunny. He used his star plant things to save the Sunny from crashing. He's surprisingly calm in this chapter. It might be because the Giants are here, his buddies are here, his heroes are here, his masters are here. So yeah, I just find it interesting how Usopp is surprisingly calm. He has observation hockey, So he might be able to sense all the demonic presence of the Gorosei, but he's surprisingly calm, which is interesting. So there's no break, which you love to see it. And yeah. I can't wait to the next chapter. My prediction for the next chapter, we get to see Vegapunk's speech finally? Maybe? Hopefully? I really don't have anything else. Zoro and Jinbei are going to go back with the Straw Hats. I think this arc is going to wrap up soon. I love this arc, by the way. It's probably my favorite arc in One Piece, other than Alabasta and just Rosa. I don't really put Marineford on my favorite arc list because I feel like that's not fair. Marineford and the final war in One Piece are like on a whole new level. I mean, they're like all the arcs accumulate to one. I feel like that's not even fair to put that even in the arc. But yeah, it was a great chapter. All right, so what next I want to talk about is episode 1096 of One Piece in 1097. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's not much for me to talk about during these episodes because it's basically showing, it's giving exposition to Ohara, the Void Century, what the government did to Ohara, Robin's hometown. It's basically something that we, the audience, already know, but the Straw Hats don't. Sanji, Robin, and Nami, and Frankie, they all, and it's Usopp, they all don't know. So that's giving the exposition. And it makes it even weird because Luffy is not even there to hear it, which he probably wouldn't even care. But it's just kind of weird how Luffy, the main character of this show, is not getting all the information that's needed for the final war. The reason why the government needs to be taken down. But anyways, not really much happened. I mean, we get the whole, like I said, we get the whole horror story. Sanji's face when he figured out that we really shouldn't be knowing about this knowledge, and he figured out that he's wondering why Vegapunk is even telling them this. So that face he made when he was confronting Vegapunk about the knowledge was pretty funny. We get the gaming animation where you see with the 20 kings and with the crowns, and you see Vegapunk's name with the with like the old fashioned a Nintendo, the Game Boy games kind of graphics, the animation. That was a nice touch. I actually wouldn't mind if they do a little more of that. Clover's flashback was pretty cool. With this little green head. He actually looked pretty cool in those few panels. I wouldn't mind seeing the whole maybe one filler episode of just Clover going out in his adventures. Seems like a really cool dude. They did good on the giant robot. The texture with the robot during the anime, like they did a good job of adding the texture and the details in the robot, showing how old it is. That is like an 800-year-old robot. I still don't really know what the robot is implicating. It's got kind of a head scratching of how that robot even exists. I guess the Void Century really was that advanced. I think my coworker told me that it's like a reference to the giant robot movie from a while ago. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't really know what exactly it's referencing. I probably had to watch it before I can really talk about it. So this episode gets about 3.5 stars. I give it an extra. It would have been 3 stars, but I give it 0.5 extra because it didn't draw out the flashback. It didn't make any unnecessarily add any scenes from past anime like they did in Wano over and over again from like past episodes. So nothing was drawn out. Everything went kind of fast. So I gave it 3.5 stars for that. But nothing really good and good action-packed animation like the Luffy versus Kaido or the Straw Hats versus the Seraphim. Nothing really special with that. So I gave it about 3.5 stars. The Chopper and Luffy interaction with them like combining to the robot because the robot was there, like what they all did in Thriller Bark, making a giant robot. That was cute. I like that little interaction with Luffy and Chopper. showing that they're like friends, they're brothers. Episode 1097 is kind of in the same boat. It's a little bit better than the last, with the flashback with Dragon. I liked Dragon's dialogue a little bit more in this episode. Like his voice as he's explaining to Vegapunk, talking with Vegapunk, it's very soothing to me. I don't know if it's probably the same voice actor, but it's surprisingly soothing to me, his voice. Now, during the Ohara flashback, there's this giant. We've probably seen her before, but there's this very giant woman near the giant that's part of Luffy's Grand Fleet. She's very beautiful. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see more of her in Elbath. If she has like a really good personality, she's going in my like top 10 One Piece females. I mean, she's really pretty to me. I like Robin's cute and smiling face from her crying during the of Saul still being alive. That was like her best friend before the Straw Hats. So that was very nice, nicely animated. Overall, there's not really else much to say about that episode. It's just they're going true to the manga. They adapted chapter 1066 and 1067 really well. I think they're a little bit out of order. Chapter 1066 was mostly from episode 96, and then 1077, chapter 1067 was adapted on episode 1097. They're pretty much hand to hand, true to the manga. There's some things they kind of switch around with them because it was mostly the Vegapunk's explanation, and then it was Shaka's explanation and then Vegapunk's reveal at the end. But like in the episode, they go kind of back and forth. When they talk about, they have Shaka explaining, and then they go back to Luffy and the gang and the satellite Vegapunk. Then in the next episode, they go back to the explanation and then go back to Luffy and the gang. I think that's a nice touch. I think that was a nice thing that the animators did. But yeah, 3.5 stars. It's the same as the last. There's nothing really drawn out. There's nothing really. No unnecessarily anime flashbacks, so that's a plus. I gave him 0.5 stars for that. But yeah, not really much to say with 1066 and 1096 and 1097 episodes. They're good to watch back to back. A little bit annoying if you're a weekly because especially if you're anime only, because you probably want to get all the action. The next episode, Rob Lucci and the gang are coming. I don't know how far they're going to get into that, but we're going to see Luffy versus Rob Lucci soon. I know everybody's going to enjoy that. I can't see them them butchering that. It's going to be Gear 5th and Lucci fighting. It's going to be nice. It's going to be heat. It's going to be fire. And yeah. All right. So this podcast it's going to be a little bit shorter. Well, actually a lot shorter than the last one. I just don't really have much to talk about with the anime episodes. See, the last podcast I did like 5 episodes and like 5 chapters. This one only did like 2 chapters and 2 episodes. So it's gonna be shorter. I'm looking at the time now. We're at like 34 minutes, and the last one was like an hour 15. So yeah, it's a little bit shorter than the last one. I hope that doesn't upset anybody. I'm really glad you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to the next One Piece chapter 1111. I like it how we're at 1111, all those ones, 1111. I like that solid. I think that's solid. I just think that it'd be really cool if Oda did something really cool with that chapter because it's such a odd number. I don't think we're going to get another number like that, 4 numbers in a row, 11111, unless we have like chapter 2222, which I don't think we're going to get up to. I don't think there's going to be another. We're going to get to chapter 2000 in One Piece. That would be kind of ridiculous at that point. But yeah, chapter 1111 is next. Episode 1098 is next. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this background is a little bit more intriguing for you guys. It's got pretty much all the manga I own right now. There's some more down here you can't see, but yeah. I really appreciate you guys being here, and If you want, you can like, share, and subscribe, or just view or watch the video. If you want, I really appreciate it, and thank you all again. Appreciate it.